We are back from California. We did pick up the Polo, so we're back now. We got some more parts from our good friends at Integrated Engineering.
And I got parts to undo the mess that I made with the fuel pump, among other things.
Welcome back, everybody. We got some more parts from our good friends over here at Integrated Engineering for the Black Mark 507K. As of filming right now, we have about 2 weeks until the show, so we're in a little bit of a crunch time, but we're still working. We ain't giving up yet. So the first thing we got here is this absolutely awesome, beautiful billet valve cover from them for the 07K. And then we also have their washer fluid cap. Looks super nice, made a billet as well. Super nice, super easy to install. There's just a Allen right there. You just clip it onto the old one, simple. And then we also got one of their 3-inch air filters. And then, because we're gonna run a catch can setup, we also got one more thing that Jackson will explain to you.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. I was just admiring this Integrated Engineering block breather adapter. If you've ever worked with the OEM PCV lines, they've got these weird little plastic quick connects. At one point, I knew the name of them. So this is just a piece of billet aluminum. It's got an O-ring in it. It's got a clip. Slide that on, and it adapts your block breather to a -10, so you can run normal AN lines to your catch can. So huge thanks to Integrated Engineering for their support and getting all this stuff out to us. This will be super cool to have on Jered's car. So last time, we pulled the old fuel pump out, which I think I threw in the trash, and it's held in with this little black stabilizing piece. And when I was removing that, I got a little bit wild with the hammer. And it came out, and so did my pry bar. So I bought this from a junkyard, and this time figured out, I've already broken 2 of the 3. Let me get my hammer. Okay. So last time, I was getting a little wild with it. I set the pry bar on there and then just whack as hard as I could and break it. This time I learned it's only stupid if you don't learn from it. If you stick the pry bar right there, make sure you're not pushing into the edge of the basket. Couple light taps. All right, this one is making me nervous. And now, I can pull it out. And it's just glued. Looks like super glue. Basket's not broken. Now we can put pump, 3D printed bracket, and then I took the top off camera, and these are the normal quick connect fittings. I think they're 5/16 quick connect, come through on the bottom. I took a drill bit, punched those out, and got these AN bulkhead fittings. So now I've got -6 out of the tank rather than dealing with those. And I soldered on the new fuel pump wiring, and I got flexi hose.
We are going to go ahead and pull off the stock valve cover so that we can get the nice billet one on. I already did like 90% of the prep work. We already got all this stuff off. All the coils are super loose, so we can just pull these out real fast. Set these to the side. And then the bolts on the valve cover are just a T30. So we'll go ahead and get those loose and we'll get the stock valve cover off. All right, so we got the stock valve cover off. Go ahead and pull that out. And we'll set that to the side. So we got the old valve cover off, as you can see over there, and I pulled out all the bolts that have these rubber grommets. I don't know where you find these rubber grommets, so we're just going to reuse them. But we did get a new valve cover gasket right here, so we're going to go ahead and get that put on and then get everything tightened down. So we got the valve cover on. It is torqued to spec. So now we're just going to go ahead and get the coil packs put back on, and then we have all the wiring ready, so we'll just go ahead and get that put back on once the coil packs are in. Go ahead and get the coil packs in, although everything just slides in. Click, 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 and click. Valve cover is on. So now we have the valve cover installed, we're going to go ahead and install their washer fluid cap from Integrated Engineering. It is a 2.5 millimeter, I believe. That's the size I'm going to use. It's very easy. There's just a Allen head there. Go ahead and loosen that so that it can slide over the bloop, just like that. And then we just tighten this back here.
Yeah. Back to it now. So, fuel pump assembly ready. These cars are factory. It is factually true that these are a returnless fuel system from the factory. But the way it works is you have a feed line with one of these pumps that is encapsulated in this little plastic dilly whacker. And it feeds into the filter, and then that filter has an internal regulator, and it just feeds back into here. So we now have a 255 liter per hour pump. AN to their dash 6 AN to 5/16 fittings, I think. I'm going to use these quick connect adapters, and I'm going to still run the factory fuel lines that go from the back of the car to the front, but it's AN on both ends now. So this is all ready to go, other than I 3D printed this bracket to hold the pump. I only had one screw in it, and I think I did like 20% infill, so when I gave her the onion, she broke. So I'm going to print a new one of these. I also want to change a couple things about it and make it a little more rigid, since it's going to live in the fuel tank and hopefully never come out. So yeah, I'm going to print that when I get home tonight, and ideally this is going to bolt in the car tomorrow. We're going to be done with it. Put that there for safekeeping. Watch that roll off in the middle of this. So as far as the engine bay of this, make this not look as nasty as it does. So since the last time we filmed something, I don't remember what we had, but I remember it wasn't much. So fuel pressure regulator is mounted. PTFE AN lines for, this is fuel in, and then this is the boost reference that'll go to the manifold. AN lines for the fuel system going to the factory lines. I'm gonna pull this clear line out so it's not ugly and hanging out in there. So all the fuel lines are ran. I got this giant banjo fitting. This is an M18 to a dash 6. Took, I don't know how many dollars and how many days to figure out a solution for this, because every other dash 6 fitting will either hit this solenoid and or hit the cylinder head. I really didn't want to custom machine that with a die grinder. So while we have Jered's car torn apart, I just wanted to point out one of the biggest hurdles we've had. So this is an IE manifold. This puts the fuel rail in a pretty similar to stock location. So end of the fuel rail, your VVT solenoids over here, your cylinder heads down here, and your cam sensor is over here. Lots of room. So if we go look at this one, this is a P Motorsports manifold from Germany. If you look at this, this is that banjo. This is why we needed the banjo fitting. So this fuel rail ends up here, and then if you look at the sensor, I actually cut this and soldered and potted it. So it's got a pigtail on it because you can't physically fit a connector on there. So that was a huge hurdle to overcome and find like a solution that I thought looked nice and was going to be reliable and repeatable. So yeah, things you don't think of when you buy parts. The wiring harness is finished, so lines are ran, I should say. So the harness still needs to be covered. I've still got to put ends on, so we're going to run fuel pressure sensor. These come with, it's like a weather pack connector or something. I don't know. They suck ass. So I soldered and potted them. I'm going to put Deutsch DCM series connectors on there. We've got an oil pressure sensor as well, so we can run fail safes on fuel and oil pressure. And then I tied into the factory wiring harness for like the wideband, power, ECU ground, fuel pump, fan control, as much as I could, just so we don't have random stuff running around. So yeah, wiring harness is completed as far as all of that. We've got some nice white traced expanded loom. I already wish I wouldn't have done this, but I bought it all, so now we're here. And I just had a bunch of heat shrink show up. So tomorrow, most likely, we're gonna get this harness covered. And then over the weekend, hopefully we're gonna power this up and see what needs to be fixed. And then we've got 2 weeks until Wasatch Eurofest, and I'm taking the week of the show off of work. So if I can get this powered up this weekend and figure out if anything needs to be changed or fixed, I'll have enough time to build a whole new wiring harness if I need to. So ideally, tomorrow, harness goes back on the car. Okay, so this is the underside of the car. And we have our AN lines that go up the side of the tank, and those are going to go to our pump hanger. And then there's this fuel filter holding bracket. I'm going to 3D print an adapter so that'll hold our new filter here. And I'm going to go through and tighten these lines. There's 2 ways you can tighten AN lines. You can tighten them as you assemble, or you can wait till it sprays fuel all over the place and then you can tighten them. All right, today we're going to take a brief intermission from our scheduled programming, and we're going to change some fluids on this Mark 7 Golf R. Thanks to Zane with Wasatch Eurofest and our friends at ROWE We even wrote it here so you can understand it, because this was actually kind of difficult to wrap our heads around. We got fluids for this, so let's get to it.
Bueno.
We're not going to show that.
I'll just clip it to here.
I was going to say the POV angle might be kind of cool.